in Morning-Watsy to report to room A3 at this time. All students in Morning-Watsy need to report to room A3. Thank you.
Heating oil is pumped into the tank at a rate of H of T gallons per hour, and it is removed from the tank at a rate of R of T gallons per hour. How many gallons are pumped into the tank during 0 to 12 hours? So how will I find that? Integral from 0 to 12 of what? Okay, that's the integral from 0 to 12 H of T. That is exactly what the question is, you can imagine. Has anyone got that answer yet? 70.57 plus. Very good. Any questions about that? Good? So far? The level of heating oil in the tank is rising or falling at T equals 6? Give a reason for your answer. Very good. H of 6 minus R of 6, and see if it's positive or negative. Does everyone agree? Why is it okay that we say as a rate of change? Because that's what we have. H of T and R of T are rates of change. Why is that okay for part B to have a rate of change? Good. For rising or falling, we would want a rate of change, wouldn't we? We would want the rate of change to know if it's positive or negative, so that's what we'll do. And so we'll do H of 6 minus R of 6. On a problem like this, you might glance down at all the questions. It might be worth your time to type H of 6 in Y1 and R of 6 in Y2. That way you can just go steal them. We all know how to do that. Y1 of, and so you can go steal those for Y2 of. If not, type it in each time. And what do we get when we do H of 6 minus R of 6? Did anyone not get the shirt thing? Oh. I Okay, so 2.445, which is greater than 0. That's my reasoning, isn't it? Yes. So what did negative 2.924? Negative 2 point what? I don't know, I'm going to stall, let a couple other people try it. So that's less than 0, and since that is less than 0, our water level is falling. What's our explanation there? I don't have enough room to write it, but what is our explanation? A reason for your answer, which that's a big part of it. Good, more is removed from the tank, more water is being removed from the tank at that time than added to the tank at that time. Did everyone now get the t-shirt form? Who wanted it? can even go ahead and call it A of 12, right? Is what? 125. Why 125? We already had that much. And then what? And you could write that as one integral. We know that's the same thing either way. And I would show that for my work, and then you're going to type that in the calculator. Again, if you have h of t and r of t in y1 and y2, you can go to your home screen and use the integral symbol and type y1 of t, or however you want to do that. So it will do that if you want to keep you from having to type those functions up. Any questions about that? What? Has anyone gotten that yet?
122.
It is gallons. T. At what time T between 0 and 12 is the volume of the heating oil in the tank released? Okay, find that. Candidates test, right? I need to check 0, check 12. I need to check the critical points in between. How am I going to find the critical points? Set what equal to 0? The derivative, right? So I'm going to call it a prime of t, which is h of t minus r of t equals 0, right? And I'm going to find those t values. And you can even, like I said, on this point, you can eliminate one of them if you want to by saying, okay, this one's a relative minimum. I'm not looking for minimum or maximum. Minimum. So if there's a relative maximum, you can eliminate that. You could show it if you want to, but you might say, or you could say this one's the relative minimum, and then check the points. Just let the reader know what you're doing. That you know what you're doing. These questions all starting to feel the same. This type of question shows up almost every year on AP. It is a low-scoring question because a lot of calculus teachers don't teach it well. Don't do enough problems. Like I know I did in my first year. So once you see it, though, you can repeat the process. So 9.790. Oh, 4.790. And what else?
11.3.
Can you tell graphically if one of those is a relative min or max, or if you can't tell, what do you do if you have both of them? You can check all, right? You can check all four. And since you've already done that function up there, go use your arrow up button. Go pull that function down. Right? You've already found the value at 12, right? So we actually already have one of our answers. So pull that function down and change the x values to 0, which 0, you know the answer to that too is 1.5, right? And then those two values. So a of 0 is 125. A of 4.790 is approximately, and a of 11.318 is approximately, and a of 30 is approximately 12. 12 we already know is 122.026. Because we did that first. What about the other two?
11.318.
Okay.
4.620 is 148.359. And 0 would be because
20.73.
Yeah. So how was the question worded? Let's go read it. And at what time? So what's the answer there? 11. So the answer is T is approximately 11.318. And what is our reasoning? We use the candidate test. What it is and what is it in? And our reasoning is that we used a candidates test. We checked the places where, which we've shown that work up there. So you can just say, use a candidates test to find the absolute minimum occurred at 11.318 hours. Any questions about that one? So this helped with some of the homework problems. Very similar problem types, aren't they? Okay. I want to talk about one more problem. It is my least favorite problem that has shown up on the AP exam. Probably. Yes, you will need to write it in. It doesn't show up very often. And it will make a little bit more sense when we get to area and volume. But it's a very question. And I will tell you, these are the ones that I hate to see show up in your top. These are not as common as the other ones that we've been working on. They don't show up as often. So I'm going to let you read it and see if you can come up with any ideas. If not, I will show you how to do it. So the population of Circle City is a function of the distance from the center of the city. The density, x miles from the center of the city, is e to the x squared people per square mile. What is the total population of Circle City? Circle City. Again, this is a very difficult question. Do we have any ideas? So just bouncing ideas around. Oh, this is not a by hand question. You get to use a calculator. Okay, I do hear integral, and I think that is a good idea. I know the integral part is right. It's right. You're probably missing something, but the integral part is right. So the e to the x squared is the people per square mile, right? X units away from the center. How many of you just want to integrate from 0 to 4, right? Okay. If we did that, would you agree that you would get the population of that little thing right there? You just get a strip of the population. Does that make sense? Well, 0 to 4 is square mile, or is miles. The dot in the middle is the center of the town, so it would be at mile 0. And 4 miles density is just people per square mile. If I take the whole circle around that square mile area and get the area, right? So we would have to do that times the e to the x squared. So this answer. So anytime you ever see a population density question, these don't show up real often, but when they do, they are all the same. You will take the density equation, which was e to the x squared, and multiply by the circumference. And you'll integrate that. So if it ever shows up, now this is more hit and miss. I'm not guaranteeing this is on your AP exam, but it could be. So if it shows up, this is how you do it. Or the accumulation problems, there's one of those on your AP exam somewhere. Whether it's multiple choice or open response, maybe probably open response. This equation will make a little bit more sense to you after we do next chapter. So we will revisit it after next chapter because we haven't really talked about area and volume yet. And so we will a little bit more later. So this, again, this equation will make a little bit more sense to you then. But since we were talking about accumulation, population density is the accumulation of people. And so you're adding all those people up.
They need to build a new city. 27 million. Well, it's basically 28 million people.
In 4 miles.
But they need better cities.
It's like,
Now it's not 4 miles.
It's 4 miles radius.
So if you were doing the area, it would be pi r squared, right? So it would be 16 pi. So that's how many miles you're really talking.
I still think people would like to figure